with the cryptic message from future Sid being very detailed and David helping Fardouk, leaves a bad taste in his mouth. Can he trust this message? Can he really honestly bring himself to help out his worst enemy? Find out that and more here on Nephilim Entertainment. Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. This is Nephilim Entertainment, and I'm your host, L. This is my coverage of Legion, and this happens to be episode number 2, chapter 10. Yeah, so David is having a nice little secret meeting with our boy Oliver, and Lenny comes along for the ride. So, you think that we can probably trust the Shadow King, especially after everything he did to David during season 1? No. We cannot trust him as far as we can throw him, and he's not even there, basically. Yeah. So David apparently is willing to make a deal with the devil in order to stop an impending doom at the wishes of his future girlfriend. Or girlfriend of the future. Yeah. It's very confusing. I hate time paradox storylines. They just... Ugh. In any case, Fardouk leaves a nice little breadcrumb for David and the others to follow. Apparently he wants them to follow the trail and discover some things, and meanwhile it happens to be something to do with Sid. How, why, and what? We don't know. But it is a nice little diversion because here Fardouk walks up into Division 3 in the body of Oliver and basically goes on a killing spree. He wipes out a bunch of the security guards while dancing and singing, and he actually goes and pays Melanie a visit, of all things. Leaves her unharmed, but he does scare the shit out of Carrie and Carrie. In fact, to the point to where he actually messes with their powers in some way. So, meanwhile, as Carrie and Carrie, before they had to deal with this whole thing, he points out the fact that the orb that kidnapped David, actually, he couldn't help but get the sneaking suspicion that he created it. So, are we seeing a foreshadowing here? Gotta hope so, because I don't want to have to explain the fact that somebody else created something, and then all of a sudden something happened, and this something did this, and this something did that, and yeah. But in any case, we find out that what we're really needing to seek and go after is a monk. Why? Apparently this monk can lead to Fardouk's body. But the big question is, where's the monk? Nobody knows where the monk's at. So we're going to have to go look for a monk. Meanwhile, David wants to look through space and time, but not to try to find Fardouk or the monk. No, he wants to talk to future Sid. He feels like that maybe future Sid can fill in some gaps and possibly tell him what the hell's going on here and why does he need to help Fardouk. Dave is having a question of conscience, especially after Fardouk goes on a killing spree. Do I blame him? I don't, but our boy David actually has a heart of gold, so naturally he's feeling the guilt and burden of Fardouk's bloody hands. So as he's going through space and time and trying to figure things out, we have a nice little talk with future Sid. Unknowns to her, is actually surprised of David's visit. Now, this is where things get a little complicated, which is why I hate time travel so much. Apparently, a plague comes and wipes out most of humanity. Sid happens to be hiding at a safe location that she does not disclose. There's not too many around, and apparently she lets David know future events that happen, apparently with him killing Fardouk with his own hands out in the desert, and apparently he is dead of sorts, along with everybody else. But the big question is what happened to the future, and what does Fardouk finding his body have to do with this? We don't know. She's very cryptic at the end. Very, very cryptic. So, naturally, David is confused as the audience. Meanwhile, we're having to deal with Clark, and apparently he's a lot smarter than he looks, because he's actually starting to figure out pretty much everything that David's doing up at this point, without being a telepath that we know of. But in any case, she kind of wished that Clark wasn't real because now he's starting to mess with David's mind. Not a smart choice, not at all, especially when he's got powers like his. But we actually do see a chink in Clark's armor because as David's walking away from their nice little powwow, Clark takes a big breath of sigh and lets out a lot of tension. Apparently, he's scared of David. I mean, truly scared of David. I mean, the breath wasn't a breath of relaxation. It was I just poked the bear with a stick, and the bear decided to mosey away instead of ripping my face off. Which, in Clark's case, the other part of his face. But in any case, he let out a big sigh of relief, as in he's made it out unharmed. Yeah, go ahead and keep poking the bear, Clark. Go ahead. But David has another meeting with Fardouk. In this case, we actually do get to meet the nice little sociopath in his true form. Not these smoke and mirrors and haunted house kind of themes, but rather Fardouk as if he was still alive, or still had his body. So they have a nice little powwow. Fardouk actually shares his opinions with David about what they are, and he feels that they're both gods among men. So naturally, the narcissism begins. And with this, we actually have a battle of the minds, in which case David actually is able to keep toe-to-toe with our boy Fardouk, who apparently might have a little bit more experience at this, but David's still able to hold his own with Fardouk. So he actually questions the whole "why should I help you" kind of thing. Fardouk volunteers the whole idea that if you help me, I'll be indebted to you. Where I'm from, that's a big thing. Yeah, I'm guessing that is too. But you owe me a favor. David's good on that. He just rather cash it in by making Fardouk promise and keep his word that he will do no more killing until after they find the body. Fardouk is agreeing to those terms. Can we really trust him to keep this in the bargain? I think we can. He's a lot of things, but I think Fardouk is a man of his word. After all, anytime he's ever threatened to hurt or maim somebody, he usually does. So, naturally, I believe him when he says that he'll keep his promise. Lenny, after all this happens, has a nice little talk with Fardouk. Points out the fact that once this is all done, and FYI, also point out the fact that she, in a way, was letting Fardouk use her form, I guess you could say, in order to trick David last season and do the whole haunted house kind of smoke and mirrors kind of thing. So whether Lenny was part of it or she just was in the mix leaves the question, but she discusses the possibility of her leaving because Fardouk apparently is consisted of multiple entities. Right now it being Oliver and Lenny, maybe more, possibly. But in any case, Lenny's hoping to go back to her body. Fardouk says to what body? And apparently the narcissism has seeped in Lenny because she thinks now that Fardouk can make her a new body. Yeah, I'd like to see that happening. You have better luck with David on that one, but they're gods after all, right? And after Carrie and Carrie's nice little melding problem, I guess you could say, we actually find out that Lenny likes to be sung, or I'm sorry, Carrie likes to be sung to by Carrie. So, in order to help them, I guess you could say, meld their bodies back to normal, apparently they have to sing to one another. In any case, they eventually got freed and things are back to relatively normal, I guess. Meanwhile, Melanie, she's not got much faith in the whole Oliver coming back thing. She convinces Sid to basically hang on to David while she can. Don't trust the idea that he won't turn on her and leave just like Oliver left her. I'm sensing a lot of bitterness from this woman. A lot of bitterness. What do you expect? A woman like behind a body that's been on cryogenic freeze for 30 years, and then all of a sudden he comes back. But when he comes back, he's possessed by a man with psychic abilities and takes off and goes on a nice little killing spree. So, do you blame Melanie for being a little questionable about the whole fate and love thing? Yeah, it's kind of sad. David actually does come clean to Sid about Sid. Does actually tell her what's going on and the whole futuristic thing and the possibility of the impending doom and all this, which I guess Carrie's going to back him up because he's my man, as she said last episode. So I guess Sid's okay with this in some way. But as the story comes to winding down point, we find out that apparently the monk is actually in the midst of the chatterers, or at least a monk-like figure is in the midst of the chatterers, not chattering. So why is he hiding in amongst the chatterers? I don't know. Do you? Alright, up next for Legion. Fardouk is warning David about the monk. We don't know. Apparently the monk is someone powerful and not to be trifled with. That's comforting. So, into the fire, from the fire, or from the frying pan into the fire. Is that how the expression goes? I guess. I don't know. Maybe? Anyway. Yeah, apparently the monk's not to be trifled with. So that's a nice little another impending doom. And then, of course, Lenny, she's wanting out of the whole situation and back to her own body, or another body in general. Yeah, I'm sensing there's going to be another subplot in the midst of this. Apparently, we got to find Lenny a place to go. She doesn't want to live here anymore, guys. You know, I mean, after all, she's taking up space. We need the free rooms. I mean, come on. So, we have that to deal with, and Sid is in trouble once again. And I'm guessing David's going to come to the rescue, or come close to rescuing her. Maybe this is how she loses her arm. Who knows? I mean, future Carrie never did say how long the future was. So, could be a week, could be a month. I mean, do we really know? But in any case, whenever things gets resolved, future Carrie or future Sid will be ceased to exist. So, future Sid, I guess, is trying to save the future, but at the same time, she could erase her timeline. I mean, I don't know. The paradoxes are always so confusing. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. Be sure to leave me a thumbs up down below, post a comment being all friendly, and let's discuss this episode. And stay tuned to the end of the video for more content. But be sure to hit that subscribe button. But my question for y'all is, would you trust Fardouk yourself to keep his promise, especially? I mean, let's pose the actual question. Let's just put it out there. Can we trust Fardouk? Can we? Do you trust him? I think I can. He didn't really give us much to go on season 1, but at the same time, I think he's a man of his word. So if he threatens you, you better take it with not with a grain of salt, but you better take it from the word of God, I guess. But that's going to be a wrap for me. I'm Matt L. You're watching Nephilim Entertainment. To all you daydreamers and creators out there, keep your heads in the clouds. Peace.